"Mommy, are you fat on purpose?" After hearing these innocent words spoken by our 9-year-old daughter, Elizabeth's eyes filled with tears. She felt ashamed, heartbroken, and humiliated. "Am I really fat on purpose?" Elizabeth kept asking herself as her worst fears came alive. She remembered everything she had done, all the painful diets that failed her one by one: keto, paleo, Atkins, every breathtaking exercise, exhausting push-ups, joint-wrecking squats. Every health guru that promised her she'll get better if she just follows their miracle formula. It was all for nothing. Not 1 pound less on that bathroom scale. Not one doctor could explain to her why she had gained so much weight since her last pregnancy. This was truly Elizabeth's breaking point. Crying and with her face red, my wife grabbed both my hands, stared into my eyes, and asked me something that haunts me up to this day. "What terrible thing have I done to suffer so much?" she said. "It was the single most painful moment I had to endure in all my life, and I wished right then to have been able to help my wife. But the fact is, I couldn't." I'll never forget what happened next, but there's a reason why I'm telling you this. You see, as I watched my wife at the end of her rope, I felt angry beyond words. But it also gave me the courage to go on an incredible 16 months quest where I would uncover the shameless lies of the money-grabbing weight loss industry, and would eventually lead me to discover the one thing that not a single doctor, health guru, or phony dietitian has been able to figure out. The one natural and inexpensive solution to my wife's excessive body weight. The only thing that has helped this beautiful 47-year-old mother and wife drop 64 pounds in a matter of weeks. Going from this to this, without changing a single thing in her daily diet, without seeing one more self-centered doctor, and with absolutely zero surgery. She rejuvenated her heart, arteries, lowered her blood sugar to normal healthy levels, and rid herself from the crippling feelings of stress and anxiety, restoring her amazing confidence, sex drive, and enthusiasm for life that all of us, myself included, thought she'd never enjoy again. Despite what mainstream media dictates, the real root cause of excessive body fat and food cravings has nothing to do with how many calories you eat, how much time you spend exercising, or how many carbs you include in your diet. Instead, as it's been backed by recent clinical studies and research, it's all due to a vicious cycle happening inside your fat cells that is literally forcing your body to store excessive weight and is ruining your health and well-being in the process. And once you understand how this cycle works, you'll have the power to stop it and turn your body into a fat-burning machine again. You will be shocked to know that this incredible method was in fact first discovered more than 120 years ago by this brilliant German microbiologist, yet blatantly ignored by all of Big Pharma's paid doctors and diet gurus. This mechanism is so powerful, it can help you burn fat faster than a hot knife cutting butter with less than a minute of your time every day. It does not require you to count calories or give up your favorite foods like brownies, pizza, apple pie, or cheesecake. And you do not have to change a single thing in your eating habits. Instead, you effortlessly shed pound after pound of raw fat from your face, arms, hips, thighs, and belly until every single pound of excess weight is gone. In the next 3.5 minutes, I'll show you the exact location where the excess weight storing process in your body actually begins. Why this process is so dangerous that if left unchecked, not only stores endless amounts of fat, but it's also capable of changing the way your heart functions and spiking your blood sugar to uncontrollable, even life-threatening levels. Why your slow metabolism is actually a result of this vicious cycle. I'll show you the results of the incredible double-blind, randomized, controlled clinical research trial that has actually proved there is indeed a key to stopping this process and restoring your body's natural ability to burn fat correctly. And the scientifically proven fat-burning restarter that you can safely use today to burn all your excess weight, regain your energy, turbo boost your sex drive, and support healthy arteries, joints, and bone strength. Plus, all the peer-reviewed research that proves all of this works. This incredible solution has already helped 88,000 women and men across America and all over the world, and the success stories keep coming in. Just hear some of them today.
I have a busy schedule, but it was time to put myself first for once. You know, it's really not what size those jeans you wear are. It's about how it makes you feel. And it's just so life assuring. Now, I mean, my heart is healthy, my joints and back don't hurt anymore. I mean, how couldn't they? practically nothing extra to keep down. I have lost 48 pounds ever since I started this. I know this may sound weird, but the best thing is to believe how good it feels just to be able to walk upstairs without running out of breath. This is just life-changing.
I'm now down 41 pounds. My father recommended I try this every morning, ever since my life has changed. My food cravings are gone, my blood sugar's back to normal, I'm now at a healthy weight. This is truly a miracle.
And a few weeks later, I'd lost 23 pounds. 23. Oh man, that feeling when you weigh yourself each day and the numbers just keep going down and down. I used to feel tired and achy all the time. Instead, now I'm full of energy, my joints feel healthier than ever. I feel amazing. It's like a big rock's been lifted off my chest and my shoulders, and I'm finally free and I'm much lighter. Thank you so much.
You see, success stories like these don't even surprise me anymore. Every day, my phone gets flooded with phone calls, texts, emails, WhatsApp messages, and they all say the same thing: that this program is guaranteed to work for any woman or man out there. No matter if you're a man or a woman, no matter if you're 20 or 80 years old, no matter if your goal is to lose 20 or 100 pounds, whether you've been trying to lose weight for a week or all your life, and no matter your current health status. Now please listen, because time is not on our side. Some very rude people with bad intentions really don't want you to see and hear what I'm about to share today. They're afraid of the massive loss of profits that's about to come their way. In fact, this is the second time I'm uploading the same presentation. I know this may come as a shock to you, but there are people in the weight loss industry that will pull every dirty trick in the book to keep you overweight and unhealthy, especially since doing so makes them filthy rich. So please make sure you pay attention to every second of this video, because it may very well save your life or the life of someone you love. Just imagine never having to face those judgmental looks on faces of all the ignorant people that think less of you, only because they wrongly assume that you are too self-indulgent to lose weight, lacking the necessary control and ambition. Instead, everyone will admire you, even be jealous of you, secretly asking themselves what they can do to achieve the same amazing results. Your days will be blessed, and you will absolutely shine like never before. Your life, full of happiness and joy, and every morning you wake up more confident than ever in your stunning new body, ready to take over the world. No more stressing yourself of what seat to choose in a restaurant or airplane every time you spend time with your loved ones. No more guilting yourself every time you feel the desire for an ice cream or some chocolate, just like any other person on this planet. And no more hiding in shame from your family just to have that extra bite between meals, or having to restrict yourself with those crazy tiny portions you've been eating. You know, the ones that only leave you hungry and frustrated. You'll be stress and worry-free, full of energy and blessed, just like you were always meant to be. Hi, my name is Ben Davis. I'm 47 years old, and I live in Charleston, West Virginia with my wife Elizabeth and our two beautiful daughters Megan and Emma. I work as a medical librarian for one of the top universities in the country and have been doing so for the last 22 years. My job as a medical librarian is basically similar to any other librarian, with one exception. I work with health-related materials. I'm extremely honored to say that over the years, I've met hundreds of brilliant doctors, students, and alternative medicine experts and assisted them in their research. Not only that, but I've also had the opportunity to witness a few medical breakthroughs and life-changing treatments being born. Yet nothing matches the weight loss secret I'm going to share with you. Elizabeth's story started nearly 6 years ago when her weight got out of control and her health was deteriorating dangerously. You see, Elizabeth and I met in college, fell in love, and married soon after. We were blessed with our first daughter Emma in our late 20s, and then a few years later, our youngest child Megan was born. Elizabeth was never the skinny type, but she was what all my college friends would call her, a hottie. See, after her first pregnancy, Elizabeth gained 16 pounds. Then after she gave birth to Megan, my wife put on another 26 pounds, and they just wouldn't come off, no matter how hard she struggled. And oh boy, she tried everything, even some of those crazy diets that almost sent her to the emergency room. We spent almost all our savings on fancy gym equipment. She went through all the popular diets at that time: keto, paleo, fasting, Zumba classes. She got measured and scanned by experts. We even hired a personal trainer. She stopped eating after 6 p.m. and starved herself for weeks, but every time she climbed onto that scale, the numbers would go up a pound or two. Nothing worked. After putting herself through months of torturous diets and fitness programs, Elizabeth found that she had gained even more weight, surpassing what she had gained over the 2 previous years. My wife was in a lot of pain, exhausted and humiliated, and her health was deteriorating with every day that went by. She was constantly tired, having trouble sleeping, always complaining about how bad her joints and back hurt her, and then the hopelessness started to settle in. Worried about my wife, I convinced her to go see the doctor again. But when Elizabeth looked at her results, her eyes filled with tears. She had high blood pressure, high blood sugar, and the doctor warned us if things don't change soon, she could be in serious danger of heart failure. "You may want to consider trying harder," said the doctor, glancing at my wife as if she was wasting his time. Now, I'm not the violent type, but I swear, at that moment I wanted to punch this guy straight in his face. Elizabeth stormed out of the doctor's office and cried her heart out all the way home. She just didn't understand why this was happening to her, why nothing was working, why her body had simply stopped listening to her. But the worst was yet to come. Elizabeth's younger sister's wedding was coming up, and Elizabeth knew we had to attend since they used to be very close. But my wife was too ashamed to go. "How could I go?" she said to me in tears. She had gained a lot of weight since the last time they saw her, and she was afraid of what her family would say about her looks. "That's crazy. They always loved you," I said to Elizabeth, hoping that getting out of the house would take things off her mind. My wife spent all day shopping, looking for something that would fit her new size and maybe try to hide some of those extra pounds. When she came home, she looked frustrated and in tears as she had found nothing that would match her new size and, cover those love handles. Now, as we arrived at the wedding, I could see Elizabeth getting uncomfortable. And as much as it pains me to say, no one in our family besides her parents and sister recognized Elizabeth, not even some of her closest relatives. She had gained so much weight over the years that it was almost impossible for anyone to tell it was her. And while everyone was smiling and having fun, talking to each other, no one at the wedding talked to Elizabeth. She was completely invisible to everyone. Meanwhile, I looked over the room and could see all the other husbands with their stunning, slender wives, but thinking of Elizabeth, I felt disgusted and ashamed of myself. A couple hours into the wedding, Elizabeth agreed to come to the dance floor. So there we were, my wife and I and our 2 beautiful daughters, Megan and Emma, dancing, when a couple of women started laughing and whispering in the back. "Oh wow, can't she see how fat she is? Is she doing this on purpose?" Elizabeth looked at me and tried to fake a smile, but I could see she wasn't feeling well. It was that moment when I realized what a terrible mistake I'd made, forcing her to go to the wedding. "Please, let's go. I can't take this anymore," Elizabeth said to me in tears. My wife didn't say a word to me on the entire ride back home. As we got home, she locked herself in our bedroom and refused to come out, while our youngest daughter Megan wouldn't stop crying. "Get away from me! I'm fat and disgusting, and I'll always be fat and disgusting," Elizabeth shouted through the bedroom door. Next morning, as Elizabeth was making breakfast, our daughter Megan pulled her mother's arm and asked her, "Mommy, are you fat on purpose?" I wanted to sink through the floor. Of course, our daughter never meant to say anything like that. She must have overheard the other women at the wedding talking. It was that moment when I saw that Elizabeth was at the end of her rope. And to be honest, I was too. In the heat of the moment, I yelled at Megan to go to her room and think about what she had said to her mother, but I knew it wasn't her fault. It was none of their fault. I just had to do something about this, or I don't know what would happen to my wife. So that morning, I went straight to the library. Since I'm a medical librarian, I had access to all sorts of books, including some of the most important ones about how our bodies work when it comes to fat burning. There was something that tormented me. Why do some people stay skinny no matter how much they eat? We all have that friend or acquaintance that no matter how much she or he will eat, they will not put on a single pound on their waistline. It's like their body had a bulletproof vest against fat or something. So after a long night of research, here's what I found. As you may already know, your body contains fat cells, which are behind how you gain or lose weight. Fat cells also store energy, the one you get from the foods you eat, and convert it for use in regular bodily functions. When there is more energy than your body needs, it is stored in the adipose tissue, otherwise known as fat cells, all around your body in the form of triglycerides. Now, it may seem intuitive that when you diet or exercise, your body either intakes less energy during dieting or needs more energy during exercise. Therefore, to get that extra energy it needs to function properly so that your body uses its reserves contained within your fat cells. The more energy it takes from your fat cells, the more weight you lose. But here's where it gets tricky. A complex study published in the Michigan Health Journal has found that a staggering 90% of those who diet or exercise retain their original weight, while some unfortunate ones add even more pounds to their waistline. Now that has been baffling scientists for years, as they couldn't understand why this happens, since the math is clear on the subject. You give your body less energy. In return, your body uses it from your fat cells. Then you lose weight that should never return. It should be all plain and simple, right? Well, that's what I thought so too. But what I discovered next had me doing mental flips. The brilliant scientists from the University of Helsinki, Finland, had tried approaching the problem in a different way. Instead of trying to figure out how the body stores excess energy when you gain weight, they analyzed how the body stores energy in your fat cells. They wanted to know if something was wrong with the fat-burning process, and what they discovered sent the medical world into shock. By going through the fat-burning pathway, they realized that for overweight people, this pathway was not functioning properly. Imagine these pathways as a power plant which process all your energy intake. If these pathways do not function properly, specifically within your fat cells, your body cannot take out the energy it needs to have in order to function. And since your body cannot wait to get more energy, it goes to the other parts of your body, like your muscles, and starts breaking them down instead. And that's one of the reasons why you feel tired all the time. Now, this was extremely interesting, but I still didn't understand where this fat-burning process went wrong at the beginning. I mean, where did it all start? The answer came shortly, in the very next study I read. Researchers from the University of Iowa analyzed the connection between bacteria, toxins, and fat, and what they found was incredible. As it turns out, the toxins produced by gut bacteria actually trigger an inflammatory response in the body, especially inside the fat cells, since that's where the energy from your food is supposed to get stored. This inflammation in turn prevents fat cells from doing their job properly, which means that they cannot process energy correctly, which is exactly what the University of Helsinki researchers have found too. And all that results in a bigger waistline that just won't go away. That's why no matter how hard you try to lose weight, it will always come back, bringing more weight with it, even if it seems to work for a little bit at first. That is because if your body's fat cells are not capable of transforming enough fat into energy due to the burning cycle being damaged, it will try to store as much fat as possible for the future. It basically goes into preservation mode. It was incredible. The solution to weight loss was hiding in plain sight all along, in your fat cells. Now, as I sat there thinking about these incredible findings, I realized I still don't know how you can fix all this. I was stuck once again. But life works in mysterious ways, because not a week later, Elizabeth's sister came to bring us the wedding photos. She wasn't aware of what happened at the wedding, and frankly, I didn't want to burden anyone else with what Elizabeth was going through. Now, as I looked over the photos, I couldn't help but notice one of our old classmates and very good friends from college, Chris. Now, I haven't seen Chris in a while, and it took me a bit to realize why I didn't know it was him at the wedding. He looked extremely different in the wedding photos. You see, back in college, except for Elizabeth and I, pretty much everyone used to constantly pick on him since he was the biggest guy everywhere he'd go. He easily weighed somewhere north of 240 pounds. It was truly hard on him. But now, he was so changed, he was absolutely shining, with almost no extra pounds on his waist at all. What did this guy do to lose all that weight? I kept asking myself. So I invited him for lunch. As we sat down at the table, I was blown away. Chris had lost all his extra weight. His legs were skinny, his body was tight and in shape, his hair was shiny, and his skin was absolutely glowing. It was the most incredible transformation I've ever seen in my life. As we got to talk, I told Chris what happened to Elizabeth, all the diets and programs that failed her, all the frustration and humiliation she's been through. And I begged him to tell me his secret. If he knew anything that could help Elizabeth, I would be forever in debt. "I'm more than happy to help you," Chris said. He was truly sympathetic and understanding, and he confessed that Elizabeth and I were always nice to him, and in a way, that was the least he could do for her. Chris told me that he worked for one of the top nutrition giants, a company that does well over $400 million in profit every year by promoting their diet programs. This also gave him full access to every clinical study, every weight loss-related research, every new diet and fitness plan the industry ever invented. Whenever a new diet or novel exercise would pop up, Chris and his team would be among the first to find out about it. "Ben, you know how hard it was for me in college, with everyone being mean to me, worried all the time about what my body weight does to my health," Chris said to me. "It was the reason why I wanted to work for a company like this in the first place, because I wanted to be right there, where the solution to all my problems began. Oh boy, was I wrong. It was in fact the base problem to all my problems that started from there, and for many others like me," Chris added. But what he told me afterwards, even up to this day, when I know it's 100% backed by scientific evidence, well, I can't believe these things are actually happening in our country. Chris revealed 3 of the biggest and most dangerous insights of the nutrition and diet industry. A secret so carefully guarded that he could get into a lot of trouble if his former employer found out he was talking to me. And it's because, as he said, this entire industry is filled to the brim with lies and deceptions with a single purpose: to make big money off your pain and misery. They don't care about fixing your problem because a customer that only pays once is not a customer for life. "This is the biggest racket scheme this country has ever seen," Chris shouted. And then he told me the first diet, fitness, and nutrition insight. Diets don't actually help you lose weight, and if they do, your fat will always come back with a vengeance. Every one of those supposed fitness and nutrition experts already know this, yet the money is too big for them to say no to. As Chris confessed, it took him 4 years to realize the actual scam he was participating in. All the diets, nutrition programs, so-called experts constantly changing their minds on what foods you should eat, what foods you shouldn't eat. The constant battle against carbs. Jacqueline London, a senior dietitian at the Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, says that nearly half of your calories should come from carbohydrates. And that's because almost every chemical process in your body requires carbohydrates. You see, back in the distant past, there was no access to supermarkets or food delivery companies. People never knew when they were going to eat next. So now, when we eat, our bodies are using the same genetic encoding to find a way to store fat until our next meal. So when you deprive yourself of nutrients, including fats or carbs, your body automatically prepares itself by storing as much fat as possible. Because even if your mind knows, your body doesn't know when your next meal is going to be. Therefore, when you eat less, your body stores more fat to prepare for the future, and that's why dieting is bad for your system. In order for you to lose weight and keep it off for good, you have to deal with the real cause of your weight gain, a vicious cycle in the fat cells of your body that's damaging your body's natural ability to burn fat correctly. Then Chris unveiled the diet, fitness, and nutrition insight number 2. Exercise can actually hurt your health and make you fat. Listen, this is something fitness experts will never dare to tell you because keeping you in the dark just makes them too much money. As soon as your doctor recommends that you start exercising, there's a multi-billion-dollar industry waiting to prey on you. They say you should get on that treadmill and start exercising. But no one tells you exactly what happens to your body as you start exercising. When you work out, your body releases a stress hormone called cortisol. This has been found in countless clinical studies and research to encourage your body to store more fat. So the actual fat you lose during exercise comes back with a vengeance because your body tries to preserve itself. A recent study published in the American Journal of Medicine, based on over 1,500 individual cases, clearly shows that aerobic exercise is actually bad for overweight people who are trying to lose weight. And then Chris revealed the last and biggest insight of this giant industry. Slow metabolism does not actually cause weight gain. Recent research shows that overweight people have actually a faster metabolism, and that's why their bodies need more energy to cope with basic functions. The weight loss industry tells you that if you want to lose weight, you should go on low-carb diets that actually slow down your metabolism. So once you do that, your body is forced to break down muscle to use for energy. And the lower your muscle mass is, the slower your metabolism gets. And then your body can easily store excessive fat after you come off the diet. A 2014 study published in the Nutrition Journal found that participants who were on a high-carb diet actually saw a drop in average blood sugar, plus lost weight and had significant improvements in blood pressure. The truth is, dieting, exercising, and metabolism boosting tricks are simply not going to help you get that body shape you always dreamt of having and keeping it for the long run. Now stay with me here, because in less than a minute, I'll unveil Chris's secret. As I sat there listening to my old friend talking, things were finally starting to make sense. I mean, I could see this with Elizabeth. All the overly expensive diet gurus, the personal trainer she hired, everyone was telling her that she needs to work harder, that she's not capable enough, that she has to punish herself to lose weight. Yeah, each and every one of those people. Because here's the thing, they tell these things to everybody. They want you to feel bad, because if you feel bad, you will continue to pay them, thinking that by a miracle, they will help you fix it. But they only care about fixing one thing, filling their deep, greedy pockets. "Chris, thank you so much for all of this," I said to my friend, almost bursting into tears. "Wait, Ben, I'm not done. You came to me for a solution, didn't you?" He stopped me. "Well, let me stand up then and show you the living proof of it." Chris spinned around, showing me that every inch of his old fat was gone. I could see the toned abs in his tight shirt, and I must say, I was a bit jealous of him. "I did it. I escaped this vicious cycle, and I'll tell you all. I'll tell you all of it, Ben," Chris said to me. As I shared my findings with him, he looked at me with a big smile and said, "That's spot on, Ben. What you have right there is the information that could destroy a multi-billion-dollar empire if only more people knew about it." Chris then told me that after he quit working for the nutrition giant, he decided it was time for a new chapter of his life, so he went on a journey around the world. He didn't know it at the time, but it was this journey that was going to change his entire life. He visited little-known places, from the deep, dark Amazonian forests to the incredible African tribes and remote Japanese villages. He even met some of his old friends down the road, people who no longer trusted that the system could save them and took the matter into their own hands. And almost at the end of his journey, he finally reached a remote Japanese village where one of the villagers was kind enough to offer him shelter. He was particularly attracted to this village as he saw the kind people sitting by the fire and telling stories every night, and as we all know this from college, Chris was always in love with their language and tradition. But my dear old friend had one sad story he had been holding too much of. He wanted to leave his past behind. Little did Chris know that the villagers would offer him his salvation. Now, starting from his first day in the village, Chris noticed a strange habit they all had. After every meal, they would take out a tiny bag and pour some of its contents into a glass of water, then drink it. And he noticed something else, that each and every one of them, even the most elderly ones, looked decades younger, more energetic, and they were all slim and in very good shape for their age. At first, he thought it was all because of their simple lifestyle. But as he found out, these villagers' eating habits were no different than any regular person's. He sat with them every night and was shocked to see that their meals included a lot of carbs and sweets. In fact, they loved eating all kinds of desserts. "What is this powder? What does it do?" Chris asked the villagers. "It's what keeps us healthy," they replied to him. "Keep you healthy? What do you mean?" Chris asked, with surprise clear in his voice. "Look at us, Chris. You've seen our eating habits. We don't diet, we don't exercise, yet we stay thin and healthy. And it's not just us in this village, our entire country is. They all know or have a portion of the ingredients in this formula. From time to time, people from the United States, many of them extremely rich, come to this village and ask us to share this mix with them. Others come to threaten us. We assume they work for big pharmaceutical companies, but we do not want to harm anymore, Chris. We just want to help. Yet a lot of them come bearing gifts and offering us money, but our way of life is way too simple to take their money." Some of the elderly villagers even showed Chris something that looked like a big barn with all the gifts they have received over the years, stored because gifts for them are sacred, even if they weren't in need of them. This mix has extracts of plants and herbs that grow around the village, which our ancestors have found to have great benefits on our health and well-being, one of the villagers told Chris. The villagers felt sorry for Chris, and they handed him a big bag of their special formula, plus the list of ingredients. "Take this after every meal, and you'll see results within weeks," the villagers said confidently. As soon as Chris got back home, he looked into each one of the ingredients from the Japanese villagers' list, researching them thoroughly. He realized it had 3-star ingredients. The first star ingredient was a specific Japanese species of dandelions, or more specific, dandelion root. Dandelion root helps your body burn fat instead of storing it. But more importantly, it has the seemingly magical ability to break the toxic cycle in your fat cells and help reduce hunger cravings. The dandelion root also increases liver function, which flushes toxins and excess water from the belly area and in turn gives you a flatter tummy. It is also being used to help enhance the immune system, reduce stress, improve sleep, boost energy, lower cholesterol, and regulate blood pressure. The second star ingredient was yellow dock root. This plant has incredible antioxidant properties, reduces blood sugar levels, and helps with type 2 diabetes. And this one too has the capability to curb hunger cravings and flush toxins out of your fat cells. It is also used to treat intestinal infections, fungal infections, and even for arthritis. And the third super herb was Chonka piedra, an extremely powerful antioxidant that has capabilities of lowering cholesterol levels. It also helps with your body's natural ability to burn fat properly. Another ingredient on the list was yarrow flowers. This amazing herb has the ability to improve metabolic function. Moreover, it has a diuretic effect and removes excessive water and reduces edema. Dozens of research papers now find this as one of the best herbal detox remedies for the gastrointestinal tract. Red raspberries are extremely high in fiber, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. They have the amazing ability to burn fat, help with bone strength, and even have incredible anti-aging effects. Plus, as he found out for the other magical plants, this too had the ability to curb hunger cravings, break the toxins from your fat cells, and repair the fat-burning process. Then, there was beetroot. Another incredible ingredient with detoxifying abilities and which also contains special nutrients that regulate blood sugar and help your body burn fat. This plant is also considered an adaptogen, meaning that it contains certain properties that can naturally restore and balance the body to promote better health. Looking at all the ingredients, it all makes sense for Chris. It made sense why these villagers would be so healthy for their age. What didn't make sense is why no one in the diet and nutrition industry lifted a finger, even with their hundreds of millions of dollar budgets, to find something even close to being as good as this. And why Japan has the lowest obesity rate in the world, 11 times lower than what we have here in the US. In just weeks after he started taking this special mixture, Chris lost all his excess weight, his hair and skin were glowing, and he had the energy of a 20-year-old. Listening to his story, I felt like there was finally hope. And as I looked into each one of the ingredients from Chris's list, I understood why this formula was so powerful. Every single herb, plant, fruit, or mushroom was linked to dozens of studies and research. Each one of them had the power to repair the body's fat-burning vicious cycle, stop hunger cravings, and help your body naturally and correctly lose excess fat. And not only that, but they also supported a healthy heart, arteries, joints, and bone strength, had the ability to naturally lower blood sugar to healthy levels, rejuvenated the brain, and improved memory and focus. It was the most impressive thing I'd ever seen. And yet, not one doctor or health guru has dared to talk about these miracle nutrients in their expensive meal plans and diets, let alone told my wife Elizabeth about them. Now, I knew that getting all these ingredients wasn't going to be easy. Chris could only provide me with a small sample, since it was all he had left from his journey. But would it be enough for Elizabeth? And even though these nutrients were abundant in the small Japan village, just one round trip would cost me a small fortune, let alone taking several such journeys. I needed a better plan. A way to extract all these powerful nutrients and put them into a practical form that would make them easier to collect, store, and consume. So Chris and I started looking for companies that would help us buy the plants in bulk, bringing them into the States and manufacturing them into easy-to-swallow capsules. Now, as the villagers warned Chris, in order for this formula to work, the ingredients had to be perfectly mixed in the right order and proportions. And since Chris already had the formula, all we had to do is find a small, discreet company that would help us manufacture it. We specifically looked for a company that was both FDA approved and GPM, Good Manufacturing Practices, certified. Now, this part wasn't easy at all. It took us weeks until we found someone reliable. You'd be shocked how ignorant most of these companies are when it comes to maintaining the quality and purity of their materials. I remember feeling like I could jump over the moon when we actually found the one company that matched our standards. Now, All we needed was someone with medical expertise to help us produce the ultimate weight loss formula. And while we were at it, why not use modern technology to adjust quantities and make it even more powerful? Luckily, Chris already knew the right person for the job from back in the days he was working for the American Health Association. His name was Dr. Alexander Pearson. Dr. Pearson had over 38 years of experience in the field and was highly skilled in both traditional and herbal medicine. And as he confessed, he was also interested in using this formula for his sister. As I got to know Dr. Pearson, I realized that besides being a great doctor, he was also an extremely good person. "Your research is very well documented," Dr. Pearson said. "At least a dozen research studies have confirmed that the real cause of why people can't lose weight is the broken fat-burning cycle in your fat cells. But we have to be very careful," the doctor continued. "Since this facility is so highly rated, it caught the attention of some of the top weight loss companies in the country, and they have been receiving constant threats of litigation ever since they tried to expose them and their shady practices. I know only one other facility in the States that can produce this formula at the high standards you requested, and it's already owned by these greedy moguls," Dr. Pearson concluded before he got to work. He adjusted the quantities for each ingredient, and the end result was a 4 times more powerful formula than the original. He added a few key ingredients for fast nutrient absorption: vitamin E for cell regeneration and skin rejuvenation, vitamin C to boost the immune system and healthy blood pressure, and selenium to help support thyroid health and strengthen hair. The result was a work of art. Now all we needed was one willing patient to test it. And of course, that patient was Elizabeth. All she had to do was to take 1 capsule a day with a glass of water. Now, of course, Elizabeth was skeptical, and in all fairness, she had every right to be, after everything else had failed her. But as Dr. Pearson explained, this wasn't like anything else. So she agreed to try it. The first couple days, nothing happened, and I could see her losing hope. After the 3rd day, she was that close to giving up. But a few days later, she had to do a double take. The scale actually showed a couple pounds less, giving her hope. Then, something incredible happened. Every morning, she would see that she had lost 1 or 2 more pounds. Moreover, late one evening, when I suggested we stay up late and order some pizza, Elizabeth said, "No thanks, I already ate dinner." We were both shocked. Elizabeth would never pass on pizza or a late-night snack. It seemed that once the vicious cycle inside her fat cells had been broken, her body could finally burn fat correctly, and her hunger cravings stopped. She was back in control of her appetite, and it was all natural. She didn't have to force herself to stop eating, and was still down at least 1 pound each and every morning, like clockwork. Plus, she still ate her favorite desserts like cheesecake, chocolate bars, and apple pie. Then, one morning, I'll always remember that day. I was in the kitchen when I heard Elizabeth screaming out of her lungs. I ran my heart to the bathroom where I saw her standing on that scale, smiling like a kid unwrapping her Christmas present. As we both stared down, we burst into tears. Elizabeth had lost 64 pounds. The very next day, she gave away all her baggy clothes as she didn't need them anymore. Then we went shopping for new, sexy, tight ones at the mall, and everything fit perfectly on her, no matter what she would put on. Amazing. I couldn't take my eyes off her. That night as we got home, she grabbed my hand and led me to the bedroom. We had the most passionate night of our lives. Every single bit of fat from her belly, arms, legs, hips, and thighs had vanished. When Dr. Pearson saw Elizabeth, he called this a true miracle. Her skin was glowing, her hair was shining, she was no longer at risk of heart problems, her blood sugar had returned to healthy levels, the pain in her feet was all gone, and she was full of energy, vibrant all day long. We'd done it. My wife had finally escaped from the vicious, fat belly prison. Now, seeing her like this, you can imagine that I wanted to share this with the entire world. But as Dr. Pearson said, to prove this formula works for anyone, we needed more people willing to test it. So we put adverts online and recruited 1,288 volunteers, men, women, mothers, fathers, people from all walks of life. We specifically asked them to be 35 years old or more, with unexplained weight gain, exhausted, hungry, and tired of diets and exercise. The results were crazier than in our wildest imagination. Within just a few weeks, every single one of the 1,288 people experienced a massive drop in their weight. The average weight loss was 56 pounds. Food cravings vanished, while each one of them reported a staggering increase in their energy levels. Dangerous visceral fat around organs gone. So was any back pain, joint pain, and aches. All gone. Brain fog lifted, while stress and anxiety disappeared. They all eliminated risks of heart disease and normalized their blood sugar. The feeling I had as thank you emails and phone calls kept pouring in was absolutely priceless. Just listen to some of their stories. Joyce King, 44 years old from Naperville, Illinois says, "This works. Oh my God, something finally works. It's unbelievable. I was this close to getting surgery when I found your website. Luckily, I didn't have to go through with it and risk my life. Never in my wildest dreams have I thought this program would work so well. For the first time in my life, I feel like a heavy weight has been lifted off my chest. I feel amazing and so attractive. I'm full of energy and happier than ever." Michael Warmoth, 49 years old from Fresno, California says, "I felt extremely embarrassed when my grandson Mark came to me and said, 'Grandpa, you're so fat.' I needed to do something, and when I read about your method, I knew I had to try it out. I verified all your research, and you were right. It's 100% accurate. What's even more incredible is how well this works. I'm slimmer than my 2 sons, and it's mind-blowing. My back pain has disappeared. I feel younger, more energetic, and happier than I was in decades. I wish I'd known about this sooner." Maria Brim, 47 years old from Phoenix, Arizona says, "I felt like such a failure and a burden to my family, but now they absolutely love my transformation. It's amazing. I can eat anything I want, burgers, cheesecake, apple pie, guilt-free and worry-free, and I'm down 58 pounds already. My kids couldn't be more proud of their mom, and when my husband looks at me, I can see that sparkle in his eyes that he had when we got married. I've made it my life's mission to help as many people as possible regain control of their lives with this incredible formula. And now that you've seen how this worked for my wife and everyone else, I want you to see how it works for you. It is my great honor to introduce Leptofix, the world's first natural blend that addresses the root cause of your weight gain, a vicious cycle happening inside the fat cells of your body that blocks your body's ability to burn fat correctly and damages your overall health in the process. This formula is the perfect combination of 22 carefully mixed plant extracts and vitamins, each one of them of extremely high quality and purity. We only produce Leptofix in our FDA-approved and good manufacturing practices (GMP) facility, using the latest technology and equipment. Every capsule of Leptofix is made of non-GMO ingredients and is perfectly safe. The process is very easy to follow. It doesn't require any restrictive diets or starving yourself. In fact, it's recommended that you continue eating all your favorite foods. And based on the tens of thousands of successful results we've seen, we can now say for certain that Leptofix is more powerful than any diet in the world. Because it doesn't just help you lose weight, but also rejuvenates your heart and arteries, improves your memory, focus, boosts your energy levels and sex drive, and so much more. That's why you'll also be improving your overall health at the same time. So, are you ready to break free from the belly fat prison? To burn pounds of fat like clockwork every night, even when you're sleeping? To look in the mirror and feel what it's like to touch with your own hands a flat belly, toned abs, thighs, and hips? To regain the freedom and flexibility you had in your younger years? To watch your husband or wife look at you with a gleam in their eyes again? And to make all your friends jealous of the incredible transformation you've been through? To never feel like a burden to your family ever again? Just allow yourself to feel all this for a moment. And tell me, how much would it be worth? 10,000? 5,000? After seeing the staggering success of this program, Dr. Pearson recommended that we should charge at least $997. And while my wife said it's worth at least $497, given her incredible transformation. And even though Leptofix has already helped over 88,000 women and men from all over the world who would happily pay double that amount. If this were about the money for us, we would have just taken Big Pharma's offer and retire in riches on some exotic island. But then stories like the ones you heard would not exist. And that's unacceptable for me. Because the last thing I want is for anyone else to go through what Elizabeth went through. All the pain, the fear of deadly health complications, all the shame, frustration, and humiliation. Nobody should be forced to go through this, ever. That's why I'll never ask for $997, $497, or anything close to that. Our goal is just to cover the costs of the ingredients and keep this website running for as long as we can. And even though we initially set the price at $99 per bottle, I'm very appreciative that you took the time and watched the entire presentation. So today, you can get a 30-day supply of Leptofix for a one-time fee of $69, and not a penny more. Now, after seeing the results of over 140,000 women and men, Dr. Pearson and I recommended you take Leptofix for at least 90 days to reach your ideal weight. This will give your body enough time to absorb and process all of the powerful nutrients behind this formula so you can start resetting your weight. Also, the ingredients we use to produce Leptofix are very hard to find, and that makes it almost impossible to keep our inventory very high. So you need to hurry, because every time we get a new shipment, our stock runs out in days. By all means, we want to help you as much as we can. That's why after talking to our manufacturer, they allowed us to offer a huge discount on the 6-bottle package of Leptofix. This means that you can get it for only $49 per bottle and also get free shipping from us for as long as the supply lasts. Once we run out of stock, this discount will be gone forever. So click on the 3-bottle package or any other package you want and join the 88,000 happy women and men who now enjoy the most incredible moments with their families, happier than ever. Does this sound good to you? Then look below now. Once you make your choice, you'll be taken to our secure checkout page. It takes less than a minute to enter your payment information, and once your order is confirmed, we'll ship Leptofix straight to your doorstep. Just select the 3-package option or any other package you want and hit the button below. This is a one-time payment with no subscription or hidden charges. And remember, this can only be found through this website, on this page only. It's not available anywhere else in the world. Now, like I said, given the current economic and social situation, super high-quality ingredients like the ones we use become scarcer by the day. Once we run out of product, it will take us 3 months to restock, which means that we are not able to guarantee supply the next time you come back. Then there's all those greedy weight loss giants that would like to see this site taken down right away, constantly threatening us and our families. I don't know how much longer we can keep this website alive, so make sure you make your choice below. And if you're skeptical, I totally understand. You've probably tried a lot of methods over the years, put your hopes and trust, and one after another, they let you down. But I'm very confident that Leptofix is the right thing for you. That's why I'm going to give you our 60-day money-back guarantee. And after 2 months, you don't see a dramatic change, even if you've used up the entire bottle, send us an email or call us, and we'll refund every penny back. No questions asked. There are no hidden fees and no subscriptions, just a simple, secure, one-time only payment. So go ahead and make your choice now. The truth is, you only have 2 options. Option number 1. You can leave this page and act like nothing happened. Ignore this powerful solution, all the groundbreaking research, and the tens of thousands of women and men standing behind its incredible results. Continue to face the judgmental looks of ignorant people that think less of you. Waste thousands of dollars on useless diets and personal training programs that ultimately fail you one by one, knowing that you'll never solve your problem this way. This may sound familiar, and I think you already know what will happen if you go down this road. You can feel it growing inside you. The hopelessness, the exhaustion, the endless anger, stress, and anxiety. The thought of being condemned to a life of humiliation and shame. I know you don't want that. But why go down this road when you can choose option number 2? And let's be honest, it's the only one worth considering. You can say yes to this amazing transformation right now and hit the button below. You can say yes to yourself. So go ahead, choose below right now. Select your package and we'll deliver Leptofix straight to your doorstep. This is your moment right here. The moment when you look in the mirror and see yourself getting thinner and thinner and your body and mind feel younger. You feel light as you walk down the street, and people can't help to notice what an amazing body you have. The future starts today with one simple click, and it's 100% risk-free and fully guaranteed. Still here? If so, you probably have some more questions about Leptofix, so let me just go ahead and answer them now. Is Leptofix safe? We created Leptofix for people of all ages, no matter if you're 20 or 80 years old, and no matter your current health condition. It has no side effects, is 100% natural, non-GMO, doesn't contain any stimulants, and is not habit-forming. We produce Leptofix only using high-quality ingredients in an FDA-approved and GMP, Good Manufacturing Practices, certified facility. It doesn't require any restrictive diets or starving yourself. In fact, it is recommended that you continue eating all your favorite foods as you shed pounds effortlessly. That's because Leptofix is the only blend in the world that addresses the root cause of your weight gain, a vicious cycle happening inside the fat cells of your body that blocks your body's ability to burn fat correctly and damages your overall health in the process. Now, as always, if you suffer from allergies or other certain medical conditions at this time, we advise that you consult with your doctor first. What if Leptofix doesn't work for me? The more results we see, the more confident we are that Leptofix will work for you. To put your mind at ease, we've decided to give a risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee for every bottle of Leptofix. You have 2 full months to enjoy the amazing benefits of this formula. If you decide Leptofix is not for you, you can return what you haven't used in full for an immediate, no-questions-asked refund. It should come as no surprise if I thought this was not going to work, I would not be offering such a deal. But the tens of thousands of men and women who have tried it are now living proof that Leptofix works for anyone, and it will work for you too. How many bottles of Leptofix should I order? The real benefit of Leptofix will come after several months of this formula working through your body. This is why we recommend the 3 or the 6 months packages. Even if you order the 30-day supply only, after a week or 2 of seeing the incredible results it has, you'll most likely want to order more. But as I mentioned earlier, we are constantly running out of stock, and during this international crisis, it is hard for us to restock as fast as we'd like to. This may be your last chance to take advantage of our super discounted 3 or 6 bottle packages. How do I get Leptofix? It's easy. Choose your package below and fill the information on the next page. Try Leptofix for 2 months, and if you're unhappy with the results, even if you've used up the entire bottle, send me an email and you get every penny back. So go ahead and select below now.